Morning, Patriots. So let's talk about why President Trump is so popular and why his base, the new Republican base, really loves him so much. And I think it's pretty simple, but the left and some of the establishment Republicans, they just don't get it. So the biggest thing is Trump came into office and he campaigned on common sense politics. Not muddying the waters with legalese and political speak. And that really resonated with the working class people. We forever, basically, have had to deal with politicians speaking around the issue, never offering actual solutions. They just package stuff in a way that sounds good, but there's never really results. Certainly not results that benefit the American people. And I think Trump came in speaking our language. He was kind of unabashed, common sense politician. And he was a fighter, and that really resonated with the people. He was gonna come in and he was gonna lock up Hillary Clinton, and people laugh at all that and they call us the stinky Walmart shoppers, the dummies, the uneducated. I call us the unpoisoned, not the uneducated. So Trump really, he spoke to a large faction of the American people that felt like everything within the political machine was working against us. We're stuck in this matrix of political correctness, high taxes, constantly at war somewhere, for no reason really. So his grassroots effort in building his campaign in 2015 and 16 was really incredible to watch. Prior to running for office, everybody thought Trump was kind of a buffoon and he was an entertainer. A lot of people just thought he was a jerk. And when he first came to run, I thought it was kind of a joke too. I didn't put much weight into his campaign, only because he had talked about running so many times. But, after watching him speak and his rhetoric, he was going to go into Washington and try and break up the establishment. He saw it from the inside. He was all those fancy dinners, and he saw how corrupt these politicians were. And I think he felt a connection with the working class of the country, because spending so many years building his company and building hotels and golf courses and all the other businesses he's been in, he's employed tens of thousands of people, and he was always on the job site. So I think he had his finger on the pulse of how the American people felt about the establishment, and he did an ingenious job of cornering the Democrats and a lot of Republicans in having to support the machine. I call it, the Democrats now they're raging on behalf of the machine instead of raging against the machine. Trump is the ultimate rage against the machine candidate, and that's why people love him so much. So, I think the rhinos are starting to get it. Marco Rubio was out yesterday talking about kind of the new Republican Party, that we're the new multicultural, multiracial, working class party. And I think that's going to resonate moving forward. We got a large amount, bigger than ever, of the Hispanic vote, the black vote, and I think that's really good for the Republican Party. So that's my thoughts on why Trump is so popular. And the left doesn't get it. They don't like him because he's a meanie and all that. And that's exactly what this country needed, was somebody that didn't care about hurting your feelings. He just cared about what was doing what was right by the American people. Exactly the way this country was established as a representative constitutional republic. So, switching gears here, after reading more about this Dominion ballot software that glitches when Trump starts gaining ahead of steam and flips votes, and it just seems pretty obvious that this computer software was programmed to kick in if Biden started falling behind. And that's exactly what happened. Eric Trump tweeted out yesterday that some whistleblowers that work for Dominion have come forward and are giving statements. So if you look at the ownership group of this Dominion software, guess who has an ownership stake? The Pelosi family, the Clinton Foundation. Some people are speculating George Soros, but I haven't seen that for sure. But it wouldn't surprise me. There's just some shell corporation that Soros funds is probably on the board of directors of Dominion Software. So we got all that going on. We'll see what happens in the next couple days here. The Georgia recount, that canvassing will start today. Today's Tuesday, November 12th. So one more point about Trump and why he's so popular. He really exposed the double standard that between the American people and the media, the government, the elite class of the country. The media and politicians can get away with just flat out lying. They can commit crimes. They get a slap on the wrist and they pop up a few months later, with a job in politics or polling or at another media company. If the American people consistently write bad checks to a bank, what happens? You get put in a database that doesn't allow you to use banks anymore. And that's exactly what should happen in the media if people are caught intentionally lying to promote an agenda. You get caught lying, you're not working in the media anymore. And I hate for government to have overreach over anything, but the media is just an arm of the Democrat Party now. So he exposed that double standard, and he's really taking them to task and exposing the fake news, exposing the amount of crime and corruption that these politicians get away with in Washington. So hopefully there's enough patriots still in Washington, in the establishment, in the different departments, the DOJ, the FBI, CIA, all the underlings, for the most part, I think are good patriotic people. But once they get up to management in these departments in the government, they just get corrupted, and that's why they want to get rid of Trump. All the resistance Republicans, all the left, they want to get back to business as usual in Washington, where everybody greases each other's palm, and it's all designed to screw the American people and keep the Washington machine going. And Trump was a bull in a china shop, and he came through and busted it all up. So they're just desperate to get rid of him. And I honestly think people will start going to jail if and when Trump gets reelected here. And that's what the American people want to see is these people being held accountable for crimes against the country, for crimes against the American people, using our tax money to subvert the will of the people and what's good for our nation. Selling our influence internationally, the Biden family, and that's just what we know about. Imagine what Obama's price was. If 10% for the big guy was Joe Biden's price, what was Obama's price? What about Clinton? So hopefully we can get another 4 years and Trump has found enough people to work for him that he can trust, and we can really start uncovering this and holding these people accountable. I think the American people will feel a lot more confident about the federal government if that can happen. But if not, and they are able to get away with stealing this election, there's no reason to have hope in the federal government anymore. If they can steal the election, they can do anything. That's the one thing that we should have left, is be able to choose our representatives. We don't have that. We don't have anything. Y'all have a good day.